So a question I've gotten a lot as I've stepped into this spiritual leadership journey is the difference between spirituality and religion. This podcast might be literally 2 minutes today because it's a very quick answer to this, right? The difference between spirituality and religion is that religion has a set of beliefs, whereas spirituality, you go on this journey of figuring out your own beliefs. So, for example, the Bible, right? People who, Catholics, for example, read the Bible, right? What is in the Bible is what they choose to believe in their life. Whereas with spirituality, you go on this journey of your own beliefs and figuring out what you choose to believe in, etc. Now, that's very high level, of course. And there is no, and I say this in capital letters, guys, there is no right or wrong. You can be both. You can be religious and spiritual. It's such a beautiful marriage. I have worked with countless faith-based people who are also spiritual, and the way they marry it is beautiful. You don't have to be all in or all out on either end of the spectrum. I know that the topic of this can get very intense and people have really strong beliefs in this, and I will always respect that. But I'm here to tell you, for those who feel confused in this journey, it's safe for you to be both. It is safe for you to be one or the other. All that matters is that you choose the one that feels best to you, or maybe none of them are for you. That's okay too. It's all about making the decision, and I have a release just as I say that. It's all about making the decision that feels good for you. I know that there are extremes on both ends of the spectrum, and I hear that. I've experienced it. There's another release for me, and it can be confusing for those of you who are on this journey of knowing that there's a higher power out there and wanting to explore that, but not really knowing what avenue to go down. My advice for you is to just listen to your body. Your body's going to make the choice for you. Maybe there are passages in the Bible where you're like, oh my gosh, this speaks to me so much. Okay, my phone dropped off, so we're just going to do it from this angle. But what I was saying is there could be passages in the Bible that you read where you're like, oh my gosh, this speaks to my soul. I love this. But going to church every week might just be a little too much for you. That doesn't feel good. You get to honor that. There's no right or wrong, right? You may have a select few, and I just had a release there. So did my dog, if you guys can just hear him burp. You guys may have a few religious phrases or something that really, really speak to you, but you want to lean more towards your own personal beliefs and discovering those. You get to do that. There's no right or wrong, and please do not let anybody tell you that you have to be this way or you have to be that way. And if you're this way, then you can't be that way. Please. Laura's so adamant about this right now, and I'm just going to translate what they're saying. You were selected to have this human experience. And you were selected to have this human experience to be able to navigate what feels good to you in this lifetime. There's no right or wrong with it. You can dabble in one, dabble in the other, not care for one and really care for the other. That's totally fine. You get to make your choice. Now, on the other side of that, I've had people, a decent amount of people who have said, I really believe in a higher power, but religion just totally turns me off. It is not for me at all. How do you do this? How do I have a relationship with this higher power? And my suggestion always is, one, I want you to, if there's anything with religion that maybe had traumatized you or you had an experience with it, like, please process that. That's really important. And I think through your processing of that, you'll discover the answer, right? But if that's really not the case and you just know that it's not for you, use other terms, right? So the religious term in most cases is God. Maybe you speak to this higher power as source, universe, higher power, someone who passed away that you love, who you believe is up there doing that, like whatever you choose. And I'll tell you guys from a personal perspective, I am not religious at all. For me, it does not, it's not for me. But I respect that it provides so much warmth and community and guidance for so many people. And I have worked with a lot of faith-based people, a lot, and always welcome in my community. You are always, always, always welcome. I always say, as long as the people within my community operate with integrity and good character, you are welcome here, regardless of your beliefs. As long as those beliefs are within integrity. That is the most important thing for me. You're welcome here. It is safe. Safe space for you here. It may not be for me, but I will always welcome what provides you comfort. Again, as long as it is within integrity. That goes for anything at all. And so it was a little weird for me stepping in spiritually when I was like, I don't align with religion. That doesn't feel good to me. How do I do this? And I had to understand that spirituality is really this journey of you discovering yourself, you discovering your soul on a very deep level, you co-creating with this higher power. Religion is like that as well, right? You're co-creating with God, and there is a journey of beliefs that really take you through that. I had to go through and figure out what my beliefs were. Now, here's where I can see religion and spirituality marrying in such a beautiful way, is maybe there are some religious beliefs that you don't align with, but maybe you feel the opposite or you feel curious. So you go down that route and say, these are the religious beliefs that really feel good to me. These are the ones that don't. So the ones that don't, I really want to go on this internal journey to discover what is. And as somebody who teaches manifestation, right? And I've really gotten into teaching that just from seeing it through a channeling lens. It has amazed me how many synchronicities there are between religion, between spirituality. There really are so many similarities. And like prayer, for instance, prayer and manifestation, really the same thing. They're so similar. It's just different terminology. So to go back to the question of those of you who don't align with religion, but really want to discover themselves spiritually, it's really just beliefs and then also terminology. So like I said, maybe you don't use the term God. Maybe you use the term universe. You guys hear all the time, I use the term universe. Maybe you choose to use the term God and you just rebuild your relationship with what that word means to you. There's no right or wrong. It's whatever feels good to you. Okay, so now let's get into some questions. So somebody said, isn't it the same, with some laughing emojis? No, as hopefully you've learned through the past couple minutes, they're not the same. Religion and spirituality are two different things. Can they be beautiful married together? Absolutely. Can they be practiced separately? Absolutely. 100%. And then somebody said, can you be both spiritual and religious? 1,000%. I actually had somebody DM me today who said that they, were working with a coach and paying them a lot of money to help them in their business. And that person told them that they can't be religious and spiritual. If they're religious, then they can't be spiritual. And I really hope listening to this podcast so far, guys, has helped you realize that you absolutely can. You absolutely can. There's no right or wrong. And if you're receiving guidance like that, please steer clear. Please steer clear from that. That doesn't feel like Laura's saying warmth. Laura's like, that doesn't feel like warm guidance. So I'm gonna leave you guys like that with that before I get any more into that. What, in your opinion, is the moment when a spiritual practice becomes a religious practice? This is a really, really good question. Let me tap into my girl for this one. So Laura is saying when your own personal belief is denied. when you're doing a spiritual practice where you feel like you have to abide by a religion, abide by a rule versus what you personally may want to do. Does that make sense? That is how Laura's saying it. Let me see what else they're saying. Hold on. When it's not directly guided by you. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I know that this was a quick one, but the points I really want you to walk away from is you can absolutely be both spiritual and religious. You can absolutely be spiritual without being religious. You can absolutely be religious without being spiritual. There's no right or wrong. Laura and I just both urge you to please find the route that feels best to you. You will know what is aligned for you. And there's so many releases there. You will know what doesn't feel good to you. And any way that we can support you in that journey, we are here for, we want to. And again, just saying, everyone is welcome in this community. Everybody, regardless of their religious beliefs, regardless of their spiritual, you are welcome here as long as those beliefs are out of integrity and of the highest character. That is all we ask for. That is all we hope to attract. And we love you guys so much. Any more questions around this, let us know. But it's just a very simple answer. One has a set of beliefs that you follow, one doesn't. What feels good to you? There are so many people out there who love structure and love those beliefs and thrive off of that, and that is great. And there are so many people who beat to their own drum, myself included, who want to come up with their own beliefs and just abide by that. And that is so beautiful. So let's just all be supportive of one another on these journeys of having a relationship with this higher power, however we choose to do that, however we call to do that. I love you all so much. I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this podcast, Laura and I would be so grateful for a review so that we can get these episodes into the ears of more people. Love you all. I hope you have a great day.